I have a tendency to get the most excited and motivated by like 7 or 8 p.m. just working through the night. I find it really peaceful that there's no interruptions, no one can text me. It's kind of nice to feel like I'm the only girl in the world. A couple years ago, when people would ask me if the figures were me, I'd be kind of afraid to say. I think I was maybe still feeling disconnected to myself, actually. And as I've become more comfortable with myself, I do admit more. Like, it is obviously based on me. I also think it's more about these certain parts of myself that either I'm uncomfortable with or feel like they're conflicting with each other, and they've kind of manifested into these characters. I have done paintings with multiple figures before, but I think they're really making contact with each other in this, for the show, very brutal, at times like grotesque way. But I've always loved horror movies, and I love how disturbing and uncomfortable they can make me feel. It kind of makes me feel like I'm in a different mindset, and like this bizarre grotesqueness can show like how far the body can go. And these 3 girls that are these like giantess women, they're torturing the protagonist, who's this representation of innocence and purity. I think each character is very complex and has emotion that might not be so able to read right away. I'm constantly like taking photos as I'm making the painting to like see it for what it is versus just how zoomed in I am and locked in on one part of the painting. I like when the paintings can be seen in different ways the more you look at it, or when you step away and look at it again. In the beginning of the series, the main character, she's eating her fingernail clippings, and then it's almost like she's taking a pill or something and going on this hallucinogenic trip to kind of numb the experience that's so tortureful and like a hazing process. I go through phases of distorting the figure more, whether that be like the body is more exaggerated with the curves and the flexibility of the limbs in the position, or slightly making the eyes more far apart, or having it be this kind of like uncanniness with the resemblance of me and the figure, to kind of show the confusion I have with seeing myself. I would say this is the most brutal out of the hazing process in the series. She's dragging her through this mud scene where you can kind of see all the tracks of where her body was already dragged through. Her body's very like limp, and her face is actually quite calm. This is the last of the hazing paintings, and this is where she's finally showing she is scared. She really feels like this is her last breath. It feels alive. It feels like she's breathing. And there's like a very meditative aspect to those details. My favorite part's always the eyes. Depending on where they're looking and how wide, it's like even just moving a pupil like less than a millimeter away from where it was is like can completely change where they're looking and the expression. I do have to pull myself away because I think I could, get so obsessed with it.